Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Media Live. Nice to have you with us on this Wednesday, the 18th day of April, the year 2018. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Thank you very much, as always. Coming alive and at you from the busy streets of Brooklyn, New York. And today I am inside the campus of Long Island University, located in downtown Brooklyn, as I chat to you what is going on in the world of sports. Well, the messy weather in the bad weather in baseball continues, and let's just say we'll talk about the NBA playoffs later on today. We'll discuss. We'll preview much as we can as the Indiana Pacers look to take a commanding 2-0 series lead against LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But before we get into the NBA playoffs, let's discuss the local teams, as the New York Yankees lost not a good sports night for if you live in New York, as the Yankees lost to the pathetic Miami Marlins, as the Yankees look base running, just couldn't do nothing yesterday. They really couldn't, and the defense has gone awful. The only thing that was positive, that Miguel, whatever his last name is, he got his first career home run, which is a big positive. Outside of that, Tanaka continued to struggle day in and day out. Throughout his whole entire career, he hasn't been consistent when you needed him to be. And the Yankees have really not gotten to a good start. Right now, they're 8-8. They're third in the division. I know it's too early to talk about the division right now. It's too early to talk about the division. But when you start talking about the way the Yankees been playing the past couple of games, you can't sit there and tell me they're a serious threat in the AL East. Especially they was the favorite to win the division, despite the fight the year they had. Giancarlo Stanton is struggling, and I like what he said. What I did in Miami don't mean nothing. It's what I do in New York. And you know what? You got to give him credit. So far, he is handling the New York media very, very well. And Giancarlo Stanton knows he got to deliver. And so has Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge hasn't really been done nothing much. He's been very, very quiet Yes, he got his home run, but he hasn't been hitting either. Outside of that, really. And Neil Walker, I like Neil Walker. He's a fine baseball player, but he's been awful. He's been awful as a Yankee so far. He hasn't been hitting. His defense he looked like an old man. He looked like an old man came from a war. Just came home from the war. He has not been looking sharp at all. And none of the Yankees are, and when the Yankees are not hitting, the Yankees are in trouble. And Giancarlo Stanton, I don't know how you're gonna. Giancarlo Stanton, he gotta make some adjustments sooner or later. He gotta make some adjustments. The Yankees gave him all this money, and he has been awful. I don't know how much awful you could say right now, if you're a Yankee fan, and it's not looking good. And speaking of awful, I don't know who looked worse, the Mets or the Yankees. At least the Yankees didn't lose to the Red Sox. The Mets got this game, even though they're not gonna win the series against the Nationals. In my eyes, the Mets game hurts worse than the Yankee game, and I'm gonna tell you why. The Mets, by the fifth inning, there was 1 point away from tying the game. And when Jose Reyes come off the bench to hit, with runners second and third, and runners in the corner, second and third, 2 outs, and a struck out like that really it was a punch in the stomach. It really was. And after, yes, even though you could live with Bryce Harper, I think, in my opinion, you will walk Zimmerman more than Bryce Harper. Because with Bryce Harper, at least you could get a strikeout off it. You could strike him out. Zimmerman been killing the Mets. He's been the Mets killer for the past couple of years, not just recently. And no team has stick it to the Mets more than the Nationals in the last 3 or 4 years. So you don't. The last thing you want to do if you're a Mets fan, you don't want to be swept. And I didn't get to the pitching with Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler pitched okay. I think you've reached a point now that it is time for Zach Wheeler to get to the bullpen. I really believe he should. I really believe he could. Because for the most part, Zach Wheeler kept the Mets in this game. But he's not the reason why they lost. The reason why the Mets lost because they couldn't get a big hit. That's all there is to it. Otherwise, the Mets have a lot of guys on base and could have capitalized the opportunity. Could had a chance to capitalize on opportunities, and they didn't. It's simple as that. Now back to the Yankees. Tanaka, I don't know what you're going to do with Tanaka, and this has been a problem with the Yankees for quite some time. They have to bat. They fixed their batting problem, but the problem, they never fixed their pitching. And on Thursday, Toronto was coming in. Right now, second place, right behind Boston. And this may not be the Toronto Blue Jays when Jose Bautista was there, but they could still do some damage offensively. And the starting pitcher for the Yankees hasn't really gotten better. It really hasn't. They don't have guys going deeper in games. They really don't. They really don't have guys go deeper in games. And I don't know what Aaron Boone's going to do. We're going to see how Aaron Boone manages this pitching staff throughout the rest of the year. As for the Mets, you got to keep this winning. You don't have to have a 7-game winning streak. You don't have to pick up but keep this winning. Keep this over 500 streak go. Keep this 500 not streak. Keep this 500. Keep this 500. What's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of it. Keep this 5-running thing rolling. Keep it rolling. You don't want to become a 500 team. Because once you become 500, and we've seen it plenty of times, and they start going under 500, they probably will never recover. I know this is not the same. This is not Terry Collins' Mets team, but we've seen this before. And let's just keep this. Let's keep this winning stats for alive. Let's keep it. Let's get back on track, and it starts tonight. Now, with the NBA playoffs, look out for the New Orleans Pelicans. And the reason why I say that, Portland took the lead at one late in the fourth quarter, like 2 minutes to the game. Portland took the lead. And then Jewel Anthony and Anthony Davis from that point on just took over the game from Portland and never looked back, really. And Rondo with that three under 40 seconds to go in the game was the nail in the coffin, and separate themselves from Portland. And as a result, the Pelicans have taken a commanding 2-0 lead over the number 3 seed Portland Trail Blazers. And Portland, if you get swept, expect Damian Lillard and J.J. McCollum to walk out. Now, Boston is taking a command in 2-0 lead over Milwaukee, and I don't think this series is going to be a sweep. I think Milwaukee has been a different team when they're a different team. So let's just see how things work. How Milwaukee will respond in game number 3. Now, tonight, Cleveland got punched in the mouth in game 1. How Cleveland is going to respond to Indiana? What adjustments they're going to make? And as far as Indiana, are they going to continue where they left off? Are they going to still be aggressive? Are they going to make? Are they going to? If I'm Indiana, I will still be aggressive I came up with the same mentality like I did game 1, but with a different approach. As far as Cleveland now, you got to make some adjustments, and you got to do something quick. Otherwise, you don't want to go down to Indiana down 2 games to none. That's the last thing you want to do. And finally, I just found out that Bruno Santino passed away. Bruno Santino, who was one of the greatest wrestlers in not only WWE or WCW wrestling history in general. And he's one of the few generals that you watch, even the old, from the old heads, from Ric Flair and so on, and he would be gladly missed. And on that note, that's going to do it for this edition of Drew Mania Live. For more information about my show, follow my show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. I will have more episodes. We have more episodes on Spreaker podcast. Until then, this is Andrew Perry, always saying to you, shalom, let peace go with you, and I'll talk to you in the next Drew Mania Live. So long, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.